All right. Good morning. Good morning, good day, good afternoon. And tonight we don't have to stay up till well, last night wasn't too late. Last night wasn't too late. That was 3 times this last week. The 2 a.m. bedtimes. I'm over it. I'm absolutely over it. All right, let's get the heater over here. I know, short sleeve shirt and the heater, but it is what it is. Tired of wearing that damn all the it gets to this point in the year where the Florida wants to kick back in, and I'm ready to be back into shorts and t-shirts and tank tops. The weather ain't cooperating. Definitely, it's not cooperating. So I'll keep this room nice and toasty. Members podcast will be out as soon as this live stream is over. So, are we in hell? Are you football fans in hell? I know it's a hockey show. I'm not going to talk too much football, but I'm sure the chat will be full of fun and laughter and joy and just what a beautiful day yesterday where the Commanders, Bills, and Panthers all lost. It's a beautiful thing. Hey, Chopper, how you doing? Hey, Stafashi. Concerned about this. We need to make a move. I think Trent Frederick. I don't disagree that we probably will make a move, but I'm not all that convinced. I'm not all that convinced that making a move is going to make the difference we hope it is. I mean, where would we be? Where would this team be if Barkov, Bennett, Kachuk, and Verhage, if even two of those guys that's in Bill's game. Yeah, that's true. There goes my internet has been wonky on this laptop. It was fine all day yesterday on the other laptop, but it just keeps every once in a while it's going to dump out and then come back and be fine. I got to clean up this laptop, figure out what's going on there. Let's see. Kit Kat says, I'm not as disappointed because I expected that result for the Panthers game. Is that bad? No, that's pretty much, I think we all this year have learned that that's probably the way it was going to go last year, or last night, excuse me. Move the mic, I can't see. There we go. Chopper says we need Keith Kachuk. Yeah, I just don't know that that's the way that they want to, it worked. It worked the one time that it worked. You know what I mean? But, we saw Maurice yell and scream at him at Pittsburgh a few weeks ago, and they did nothing. It's hard. It's hard to see on a nightly basis, not every night, of course, but it's hard to see when we play these better teams that the effort level is just other teams are stepping up to play us. We knew this was happening, but that don't make it any easier. It don't make it as like Craig saying they're on coast mode, right? It's just hard to watch. You get a game like last night. If we only could play the whole game the way we played the first 5 minutes, I thought we were in for a hell of a game because we matched their energy. And then we just didn't, Mel says, I was disappointed because I thought we would try to step it up against Vegas and they just skated circles around us all night. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed too. I'm not surprised, but at the same point, I think I said this in my pregame. It'd be nice if we could just put together a few games here or there where we stepped it up and matched the other team's energy, a top team, And we do have a brutal schedule. That's true, Safashi. We do have a brutal schedule. Chopper says, I'm tired of seeing the back-to-back games. A lot of it is because I guess there's a lot of NHL teams in that position right now because with the expanded break, the Four Nations break is a lot longer than the normal All-Star break, I believe. The schedule's a lot more compact. Yeah, exactly, Craig. If they could, they'd wear flip-flops and Hawaiian shirts. Agree. Hey, Kenneth. Yeah, we kind of figured it was going to go that way, right? I mean, it could be worse. At least we didn't lose to the Sharks, right? That would have been bad. That would have been bad. So, like Maurice says, we've been 500 for a month. We'll be all right. Hey, at least we're not the Bills. At least we're not the Bills. You know. Steven says, I'm annoyed that our $40 million power play can't complete simple passes. Everybody raised their hand if they think Schmidt was doing a better job distributing the puck than Ekblad has the last couple games. I realize Ekblad's going to be a little rusty, but it did not improve when he came back immediately, you know? Jobber says maybe if we cut down every palm tree in Sunrise and send it to Buffalo, perhaps they'll improve. Meadow says we haven't beaten a better than 500 team in regulation since before Christmas against Tampa. When we beat the Rangers, they were still below 500. Safrashi, I like that idea, putting Elvis on the first power play. He's had him there before. So the puck movement overall is so slow. You know, the only quick movement we get is if we get that triangle of Barkov, Reinhart, and Kachuk, and they execute the bumper play. Other than that, it's just a lot of long, slow passes to the perimeter. We beat the Devils after Christmas. Okay. I mean, it's not been fantastic. I put Greer on the power play, right? It's not been fantastic. You know, just I guess the other part to it is, I mean, everything's gone wrong except for the Spencer Knight. I feel bad for the kid, man. 2 games, 5 goals combined, no points. None whatsoever. Steven says, I honestly hate the back-to-back excuses. We're clearly not the only team that has games back-to-back. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying, Metal. That was in the shootout, right? Kenneth, it all depends on who we're going to play, right? Like right now, if y'all want second place to play Ottawa, I'm good with that. I'm not interested in playing Ottawa. You know, none of these teams are going to be easy to beat. I mean, you got Olmark, you got Swayman, you got Vasilevsky, right? I mean, pick your poison. Obviously, Vasilevsky's proven he can do it, but he's not quite the same guy. He's not as dominating as he was. I think Tampa's the team I'd like to play the least. And, you know, at some point, a team like Tampa, who's won before and kind of retooled, they know how to win. They're going to figure it out again at some point. Savashi says, I remember Tampa after the 2 cup runs coached during the season, and they were fine. Yeah. That's and when I do the skits, Strafasci, and the Tampa Bay guy is in his pajamas sleeping, that's where that came from. Because I did a couple of things way back then, and then that's where that comes from. Because they just sleep through the season, right? Exactly, Kenneth. They've had 2 back-to-back first-round exits. They're not happy. Bingo, Kenneth. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Biggest thing now is to just stay healthy till the playoffs. I talk about that a little bit in the members podcast. It'll be out a little bit later. Seems to be pretty much a 500 team. If Ottawa, Detroit, and Montreal played this way all season, there'd be a good chance we were outside looking in right now. I mean, the thing with that, though, Steven, is that part of the reason why we have allowed ourselves to play on coast mode is because when you look at the standings, we can afford to. So I don't want to try to guess how we would have played if we were in a real competition and where we could really possibly miss out on the playoffs. You know what I mean? We don't know if they would have upped their level of look at the standings and, 1 point out of first place, whatever it is, 2 points out of first place, the motivation level for the Panthers is only going to stay static for so long, unless somebody comes up from behind us and really looks like they might take that spot. Chubb says, don't know how staying healthy translates into not shooting with accuracy. Yeah, we've had that problem. We've had that problem before in the past. Only thing I can think about is, because I've been listening off, right? Barkov, Tkachuk, Bennett, Verhaeghe are all basically slumping right now. So what if they all slump for the rest of the year and then all of a sudden get hot right in the playoffs? Like, I'm just saying, right? I mean, it could not happen, but if it does, I guess the point that I'm making is we have a lot of guys on the team that if they really got hot, any number of those guys could really carry us. You know what I mean? I mean, Verhaeghe carried us against the Capitals, right? I mean, we've got 4, maybe 5 guys on the team that if they get hot, 5, Reinhart, Barkov, Tkachuk, Bennett, Verhaeghe. We've got 5 guys on the team that if either any of them got really smoking hot, they could carry you through a playoff series. Craig says it's why hot starts are easy points so that when the meh happens, it's not as impactful negatively. Right. Yeah. Where are we today? Ottawa's in 3rd place, right? Kenneth says no one in the Atlantic looks like they have it all together. I'll agree there. Let's see. So 62. And then, I mean, there's Ottawa. I mean, Ottawa's 5 points behind us. And so are the Bruins, right? So the Panthers really aren't going to feel a big, if that 5 becomes 2 points, then maybe we'll start being, a little bit more concerned. Yeah, good point, Craig. Yeah, Erod last playoffs. Yeah, no, that's a good point. We've got plenty of guys that if one or even 2 of them get hot, right? I mean, if Reinhart and Verhaeghe get hot at the same time, we're not losing that series. It's just not going to happen because we've seen with either one of those guys gets hot, the puck's in the back of the net. Meadow says these slumps are making us question whether these guys will actually get hot or not. I know, man. I know but it was bound to happen. At least the last couple of games, I haven't been seeing the cross ice passes. The bad cross ice passes look like they've kind of stopped a little bit. So that's good. Hi, dog. I'm a little tired from yesterday. A little tired. Voice is pretty beat up from yesterday. I was 8 hours of streaming plus the recap. So, but we're good. We got today and tomorrow off. So catch up on some work and everything, some eBay work and all of that. But we're doing, my eyes are surprisingly okay. I'm very surprised that my eyes made it through all 3 games yesterday. And pretty much I don't have a headache or anything. So that's good news. Now, if it was spring, it might be different because of the pollen. But being that it's been frozen for 2 weeks, I think, there's no pollen or anything in the air, so that probably helps. Metal says, I told you Maurice would tell them to stop scoring after the San Jose game. Right? I mean, we scored 8 games into 2. We scored 8 goals into 2 games. If we could have just scored 4 and 4, we win both games. Julian says, we're missing an offensive defender to help. OEL and Montour are big losses. I don't see changes being made until we know what's up with Bob. Yeah, I don't disagree there at all. The transition game is just not the same. It's just not the same. Schmidt tries. He does try. Kenneth says Detroit, Montreal, Columbus, they're just too many teams ready to pounce if someone slips, which way Boston is in a tough spot. Right. Hey, is that genius? I like that. Rough day yesterday. Hey, I really don't ask too much. Wish the Cats would have won. Hope you feel 100% soon. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, Kyle's in worse shape than I. Poor Kyle, because he calls the football games, right? You know, we had fun though. There were some good moments with the calling of the football and the hockey at the same time. Just Kyle had to figure out that while I'm calling the hockey, while there's nothing's going on in football, to not interrupt my hockey call with reading the chat. Chopper says maybe they need some of that. Why Eggplant is playing the point on the power play. Yeah, I mean that's just his. I mean it's just Maurice. It's just Maurice. You know. Now I got it. So Jen Is. Okay, that's a cool name. That's a good name. Joe Tag says we need dogs for the board battle. We lost Lombard, Cousins, Okposo. The forecheck needs to be helped before the deadline. Plenty of players out there to go get for that. No disagreement there. No disagreement there. I'd like. I mean, I've said it before. I'd like Achari, and some of the guys that we pay to do that. I mean, Chucky needs to be doing that. Bennett needs to be doing that. Samoskevich tries. Boy, you can't fault that kid's effort. That's for sure. And the same thing with Boquist. I hope we can keep Boquist because, I think there's some potential there. You know, that kind of gives us a little bit of a more evened out. I have a feeling that at some point the odd man out might be Luosterainen. I hate to say that, but I have a feeling if you end up, looking at too many guys in the same, Mackey, Samoskevich, Boquist, Erod, at some point you'll have to pick him. He's crapping out. Come on. Why does this keep happening? It's not happening on the other laptop. It's got to be this stinking laptop. I restarted the laptop before the stream and everything. So let me see if I got something going on here with this. All right, we'll see if that works. He's been on the second line, but he got moved down yesterday to the third line. He had plenty of opportunities in the second line, but he's not putting the puck in the back of the net. Nobody is, really. I hope Samoskevich, he's a rookie. He's going to continue to develop, so I'm happy with his play. I hope that he's able to, and he probably will. Remember, this is kind of what Tippett did a little bit in the beginning, right? He did a lot of opportunities, and then he wasn't, like 12 goals, right? Which is probably where about Samoskevich is going to end up. But you don't want him going scoreless too many games in a row. His confidence is going to, he needs to put one in the back of the net. So Jenny says, I'm sure your GM will find what you'll need for another long playoff run. My Oilers should trade for Bouchard or Mr. Tuttle. Bouchard having a rough year defensively and offensively. Yeah, trade your Bouchard, right. Yeah, for Mr. Turtle. Yeah, hey, look, I mean, that rematch could happen, right? I mean, I'm not interested. Though, because I think the Oilers would be far too motivated. That whole rematch, the losing team is usually going to be hyper motivated, unless you're the Bills against the Chiefs. I just trolled myself. Chopper says the hockey guy thinks the Panthers need to go all in at the trade deadline. I don't know, man. I think he's just saying that so we ruin our cup window. He's probably saying that just so we'll ruin our cup window. I don't know. It's a slippery slope. I mean, the odds of us making it to 3 cups in a row with a full 82-game season, they're already slim. Let's be honest. I don't care what team you are, right? Nobody has made it to 3 cups in a row in full 82-game seasons since the 80s Oilers. There's a reason for that. The last thing I want to do is sell out the future to try to artificially inflate what we can do now. The only way I'm willing to do anything is if you're going to move, if it's going to be something like what Colorado and the Canes did. It's like, all right, you sent Bennett packing, but you picked up a guy that you feel like is a viable replacement for the most part, or you pick up a guy that's going to fill a spot, because we could always go Barkov, Lundell, Luosterainen, Bohlquist can center. So, but I don't know about, I don't want to give up any of our young players for the most part, because that's how we're going to stay in a cup window. Remember, we got Spencer Knight. So if he continues to play well and develop, our window should be, if we keep our young guys, and obviously we see that Zito can draft, right? I think we see that now. Lundell, Samoskevich, Sawshin. So, I think we've seen now Zito, so he can keep us. We could with Spencer Knight. Forsling is young. Serfashi, no, I've seen a bunch of people thinking about that with JT Miller. I've seen more than one person saying that. Janaya says, can't wait till Gary Bettman leaves the NHL. Canadian team will finally win. Ever since Bettman came in after the Canadians won in 93, not one Canadian team has won it. Yeah, it's a good point. It's been a while. Chopper says Miller is a bum. Wave Gadjevich. He's hurt anyway. That might happen anyway, Chopper. But we'll see. Oh, yeah, Miller is supposedly undesirable in the locker room, which that's not a good fit for us at all. It's not a good fit for us for all. We're going to do something. But what's interesting about it, though, is at the beginning of the season, we were so convinced that we needed a lot of defensive help because we were allowing so many goals. And now, we lose to the Kings 2-1. We lose to Vegas basically 3-1, right? So we played the Kings and Vegas on the road on the second end of back-to-backs. We only allowed 5 collective goals, and we get no points. That doesn't sound like the defense is the problem to me. You know what I mean? Just think about that. Kings, Knights, 5 goals on the road, second end of a back-to-back, no points. So as much as we make fun of Ekblad, is adding it. How much better is the defense going to get in those games? I guess that's the point I'm making. Now, if you get somebody that can help with the offensive transition, okay. If you get somebody like a Montour, not saying we get him back, but somebody like a Montour to play next to Mikkola, that could help the offense. Definitely could help the offense. But I don't really know that I trust what Maurice is going to do with the lineup then. Because Ekblad, Forsling, Mikkola, new guy. I don't really want Balinskis off the ice because he's got some good speed for that bottom pair. So I guess Balinskis, Kulikov. Will Maurice take Nate Schmidt off the ice? I don't know. I don't really trust them. Zanaya says, being born in 95 and almost 30 years old, haven't seen us win this sad. Do I believe the new team should be placed in Canada since USA has triple the amount of teams? I guess it's just up to the financial end of it. You know what I mean? Which team is it in Canada that's having trouble? Is it Winnipeg? I know there's one team in Canada that's having a lot of trouble putting people in the seats. Is it Winnipeg? There you go. There's what Kenneth is saying, right? I think some of that's going. I don't know the details, but I've heard some people talking about it. Right? It's Ottawa. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Amanda, I know. I don't know what's going on with it. I've restarted the computer already. It's only on this laptop, so there must be something going on with this laptop. I can exit out and come back in. Let me exit out and come back in. I'll be right back. Damn it. All right, let's see if that helps. I don't know what's going on. We don't have any other. It's only this laptop, but it might be. I have that long Ethernet cord. I'm having the cable company come out, and I'm having them add a second modem, and a whole second connection just for this room, because I can't have the Ethernet cords scattered all over the house when if I'm going to be doing the doggy daycare stuff. So I'll just have to. But thank you for letting me know, because I don't see the warning, because when I blow up the chat. Hey Dana, let's see. I don't know about Bedman. He's kind of a smarty, but what, he let Winnipeg get a franchise back, and that's not a rich city, and he's still. So I got to give him some credit for that. Chopper, yeah, we make them all look. What in the hell? It's only, I gotta call him. Here we go. It's coming back. All right, this crap needs to stop. All right, try it again. Gee. It does this sometimes when it's really cold outside, but all right. Kenneth says it's really too bad. Last year you went to a Devils Sens game. Great atmosphere. I don't know you guys in Canada would know better than me what the deal is financially, but have they said specifically like a guaranteed time or date that a new team is coming in? I know that they want to just expand until infinity, but is there a specific year that we're supposed to have a new team come by? And that's part of the other thing about the Canadian market is just so much bigger, than the United States market when it comes to hockey. I talk to people all the time, and because we all love hockey so much, we don't realize just how much of a niche sport it is. we don't realize, because players still make good money, the arenas are filled and everything like that. But when you, at least where I live, when you talk to people in general, everybody talks football. And all they want to talk about is football, football, football. Danny says, Edmonton could have won Game 7. They couldn't get it done. That's not Bettman's fault. No, that's true. I'm happy that he didn't know. I'm happy that they didn't, right? Shafashi says, I think Bennett or Boquist might be the Bennett replacement. It's possible. It's possible. I feel bad. Is it just me? I know Craig, I think you said Bennett is just chill. He just, I don't know. To me, he just seems like his body language is just not real positive. You know what I mean? His body language is just not real positive. He just seems too chill right now. Just seems very, very somber. Winnipeg is starting to fill the arenas now. That's good. Fauci says, or we keep Bennett and Boquist and get rid of Ekblad. You know, we might get rid of both Strafashi. Chopper says, Jaws Bennett is sad. He has that shell shock look to him. Okay. All right. Maybe I'm just paying more attention now because he's in a slump. You know what I mean? You know. Julian says, don't think getting rid of another defender would be wise. Well, it depends on what we do with the money, though, right? So let's say we make the playoffs and we get scooted in the first round. Let's say that happens. Now, do you re-sign Bennett, re-sign Ekblad, and try to run with the same guys that might be a little bit worn down? Or do you let that, what would end up being, you know, between $10 to $14 million in salary walk and try to get some younger, fresher replacements in with that money, kind of retool, you know? I mean, you have to consider it if you're Zito, right? Because what if, you know, Barkov, Lundell, Boquist, right? If we keep Luosterainen, he could be a force. I mean, there's all different ways we could do it. Janaya says, all I know is 5,000 seats gets filled or it's paid for in Edmonton each home game, paying Leon's and Connor's wages, right? Ken says, I'm not sure it's a cost thing. In junior hockey, Windsor, London, Kitchener fill the arena. Teams near Toronto can't. Julian says, like I said, Jaws, it depends on Bob. Does he retire? I think Bob has the first priority out of the three guys we were mentioning. But, well, the thing with that, Julian, is remember, Bob's got one more year on the contract, though, right? With Ekblad and Bennett, we have to make the decision, you know. But I guess I see what you're saying. If Bob decided to move on, but I don't really think that'll happen. But you never know, right? Like if we win the cup again, he might say, screw the last year. Although I don't know how that works. If he retires, he's not going to get paid, right? Right? He's not going to get paid if he retires. I don't know how the cap situation works if he retires. But I would be surprised if he didn't at least finish his contract. You know. So, I mean, it's not so much our decision there. Ermac says, trade Bennett, sign Ekblad. Ooh. Boy, that would make a big portion of the fan base awfully pissed off. I'll say that. Julian says $10 million is a massive move for the team. That's 2 or 3 players with salary cap increasing. If he decided to do that. I remember with Luongo's contract, there was a massive penalty if he retired early. I don't know if it's the same for Bob's. Manny says, sorry, Jaws, Bennett needs to go. I mean, I don't want to do it any more than you guys do. But what are we going to get back? Right? I mean, we've got to get a viable piece or two back. Is Bennett worth a third line left winger and a second pair defenseman? It might be a bit much. That might be a bit much. Right? Kenneth says, wow, a huge shift from the start of the year. Bennett was a must sign. I think the question that we're having, Kenneth, is with the way that Bennett plays, the style he plays, he's had a lot of injuries, and he's really not playing well at all this year in a contract year. So, and we have to sign him. So it's like, do you want to lose him for nothing? You know, is he going to be able to turn it on in the playoffs? Is he just coasting along with everybody else? We can't know that, right? Hey, JC, Thursday package. All right, brother. Thank you, my friend. Julian says Bennett isn't with getting rid of, or you were trying to say it isn't worth getting rid of? Nearmax says Ekblad's all right. Shot D, those guys don't grow on trees. Yeah, just could we move them? Could we put them on the bottom pair, please? And I just put a leash on him. Just put a shock collar on him. And if he goes past, I'll allow him to go like one foot in from the blue line. But if he hits to the circles, he gets shocked, and he has to go back and play defense. Julian says we got nearly 28 million in wingers that aren't scoring. Right? Yeah. Nearmax says Bennett wants more than the Panthers are willing to pay. But he's not having a season that's really going to earn him a big paycheck either anywhere else. Right? I mean, if he wants like 8, you can't give Sam Bennett 8. If he wants for Hagee money, you just can't give that kind of player. You can't give him that. I don't know. Janai says, well, I'm skating and shooting pucks, repping the Oilers jerseys. Been a decade since I've done that. Till this month due to back problems and now recovering from surgery. Say, all right, brother. Very cool. Yeah, one of our resident Panther fans just got stem cells put in his back. And he went from hardly being able to move around. He was playing stick hockey with his nephew this weekend. So that's good to hear. Julian says Bennett can just go pull a Montour and go rot in Seattle if he wants, right? Chopper says, I just hope Tkachuk's performance doesn't drop from not playing with Bennett. Well, but we need Bennett to be what Bennett has been, right? So only the team knows. You know what I mean? Only Maurice and Zito and the players know if Bennett's in a slump or if his play is diminished from his body being beaten up. You know what I mean? Hey, thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Yeah, Chris, she says the Chiefs. I know, brother. I know. We have to watch the Super Bowl from hell again. I'm going to console myself with the Super Bowl by, and this is true, my great my great grandfather. I have a family in Philadelphia. They all live in Allentown, and he was a giant Phillies fan. So I'm going to sell myself that I'm rooting for the Eagles in the Super Bowl just so that Chiefs don't win. Julian says we need Cousins back. That line chemistry is dying. The entire line of San Jose. JC, you're in town visiting? Where? I must have missed something. Oh, the game on Saturday. Okay. Nearmax says Bennett's highest point total is 49, and he's on pace to pass that, so he's not having a bad year. Is that really it? He's just been in such a bad slump. And for me, it's not about the goals. For me, it's not about the goals in the points with Bennett. I'll agree with your statement there. It's more about the work that he does and the chaos that he causes. And so I guess that's what I mean when I say only the team knows if he is just holding back like everybody else seems to be, or if he's washed. You follow what I'm saying? Because that's a heavy position he plays. It's a lot of hard, a lot of wear and tear on the body, and he's just not really doing it right now. Kenneth says, but it's 6 years ago, entire North America cheering for the Chiefs to beat Brady. Yeah, well, yeah, right? Hey, Kenneth, 6 years ago, all the comments in my YouTube channel would be like, wow, it's so cool that the Panthers have a YouTuber. I like the Panthers. They're always playing hard and they have heart, and I hope you guys do well. And now look, everybody freaking hates us. So I get it. I totally get it. I used to get the comments all the time. Oh my God, I didn't know the Panthers had a YouTuber. I like the Panthers. And then now they all hate us. They totally hate us. Chris says, how do I feel about us playing the Capitals this postseason? They're good. The Capitals are good, and they got guys that know how to win. It would not shock me in the least to see a Capitals Lightning Eastern Conference Finals. Two teams that have won before, kind of retooled a little bit, and just got pissy enough to get back there. Wouldn't shock me at all. Yeah, exactly, Julian. Yeah, the whole team is in a slump. I feel Knight and Jesper have been playing the best lately. Yeah. If Mackey could score on his opportunities, he'd practically be second on the team in goals by now. I hope he's not one of those. I hope he's not one of those guys who just gets constant opportunities but can't bury it. But we had the same concern with Tippett at the beginning too, and you see how that turned out. So I'll give him time, obviously. I love his game. Chopper says, whatever, time for another blockbuster trade because the Rantanen one wasn't enough for Hagee for Crosby. I mean, I would probably make that deal. I know Trey would make that deal. I mean, that sounds like you see the thing about thinking about trading to these guys now is just like, which player are we trading? Are we playing the guy how they've been playing now? Or are we trading the guy that is going to go back to playing the way they have in the playoffs the last couple of years? Because I don't want to trade any of those guys. I don't want to trade for Hagee if he's, when he starts scoring, right? Julian says he would be leading the league, Jaws. Mac, he has a chance every shift. I know, man. But that's a good thing. At this age for him, that's a good thing. Hey, MJ. Hey, buddy. How you doing, bud? How you doing, MJ? Thank you, my friend. Let's see what we got. It says, happy Monday, Jaws. Last Monday of January. That was quick. Yesterday was not a good day for Panther fans, Bills fans, or Commanders fans. Headlines in a second. Thank you, MJ. Thank you, brother. Yeah, that was tough yesterday, man. Kyle and I streamed all 3 games, and nothing went the way we wanted. Absolutely nothing went the way we wanted. And it was a first down, by the way. Josh Allen got a first down. That's not why they lost, but it was a first down. If you watch the overhead, it was a first down. I'm not bitter. It's not my team. They would have found a way for Kansas City to win anyway. Great White says, is it true Taylor Swift is going to be the Kansas City mascot next year? She's not already the mascot? I thought they already gave her that job. Yeah, you saw parts, MJ. 8 hours. Poor Kyle, man. Poor Kyle was wiped out by the end. Yeah, we had fun with it. Kenneth says, everyone talking about these names, no one trading Erod seems like the logical choice to be moved. That is one name that we've kind of talked about previously, where if we were going to make a deal with somebody and we had to send salary the other way, the only 2 guys that you could really send that wouldn't have a massive effect on the cup possibility is E2 or Erod. But it depends on what you're getting back. You know what I mean? Preferably, we'd like to keep all of our guys. But Erod on the 4th line is a bit, if everybody else was scoring, if the team was scoring at its normal clip, and then you had Erod on the 4th line, that's pretty good. That's a big benefit, right? But when a dude just gets moved there, because what's he got, like 1 goal in 20-something games? It's a different story. Vincent says, we need an animal mascot here. You did promise us a shark. Oh, yeah, I got a shark. I put him up on my shelf in the recap room. I got to put him in the washing machine. He's all dusty and dirty, but it's like a 2-foot stuffed shark. It's made of a patchwork quilt. And yeah, Julian says Erod and Lundell played amazing last postseason, right? Meadow says, did you mean Stanley Cup final leading goal scorer Evan Rodriguez? Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, which dude are we trading? The guy that's playing now or the guy that played in the playoffs? Hey, Frank. Chopper says, what if we simply waived Nosek and Gadjevich? That's some more dollars we can get. I don't want to waive Nosek. I want Nosek to be Okposo off the bench. Nosek is at least a serviceable veteran presence. He's not great, but you get into some injury issues and down the road in the playoffs, a guy like Nosek coming off the bench with fresh legs, that can be of service. That can be a benefit. Trying to plug him into 4C and play all these games and be the 4-seeder in the playoffs, it's probably not going to work out great. And I don't think we can waive Gadjevich because he's got concussion issues. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So I don't even think you can waive a guy under those circumstances. Is there anyone from the G League that can take Nosek's spot? I mean, Giles is probably not ready. I think Zach Dalpe is still on the roster, but I don't know if he's healthy or not. He's not an answer. Nola Chari. We should be able to get Nola Chari for a bag of peanuts. Honestly. I don't know why it hasn't happened already. Kenneth says, if you're going on last year's playoffs and the Panthers are staying pat, mostly, and still everyone will complain. I don't know if I'll be upset if we don't do anything. Oh, okay. I will be upset if we do nothing and we don't even upgrade it 4C. I'd be disappointed at that. Somewhere, somehow, we need one more forward so we can flesh out the lineup a little bit better. Defensively, unless we're going to get a puck-moving guy that can play on the second pair with Mikkola, getting anything else is just going to be redundancy. We don't need any more, older veteran types. We got plenty of that. We got Forsling, we got Ekblad. They ain't going anywhere. Not that we want Forsling to go anywhere. Chopper says Bob would be such a goat if he agreed to a mutual contract termination and then signed for league minimum. They don't allow that, Chopper. The NHL rules are not like the NFL. You sign it in the NHL, that's it. Frank says, at this point, I don't even care about the regular season. Let's just see what we do at the trade deadline and hope we go on a run in the playoffs. It's exhausting. Yeah. Meadow says, don't you mean goal scorer in Game 7 of Round 1 versus the record-breaking Boston Bruins, Zach Dalpe? Chris says, didn't Achara retire? No, he's playing in Pittsburgh. He's with the Penguins. Silva, yeah, I mean, Nosek is fine. He's fine. Sure, he's fine. But we got nothing behind him. Zippity-doo-dah. So my theory being get somebody better than him and then have Nosek be the guy off the bench because we got nothing at 4C behind him unless we start moving around, like you're saying, Luosterainen or something. But in terms of off the bench, last year we had Okposo and Lorentz, and we used them and we needed them, especially Lorentz. Lorentz coming in with fresh legs later on in the playoffs, it helped. It helped to have a big guy that had fresh legs like that. So, yeah, Nosek is okay. He's fine. But I would like to get better there. iDog says, I got to turn up the volume when the Bugzito planning in the office. Then they'll make the move, right? Hey, MJ, thank you, buddy. Thank you, MJ. Thank you. All right, he says, sports headlines. The team who shall not be named and Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. The Sens are going to play in Quebec City next year. Todd Golden cleared of assault allegations, and a car hit Eagles fans after yesterday's game. Is he okay? Is he all right? Yikes. Thank you, MJ. Yeah, the team that shall not be named. God. At least Marino beat the Bills in his fourth try. All right. At least Marino finally beat the Bills in his fourth try. He was 0 for 3. Then he won. He beat the Bills in 99 with Jimmy Johnson. So Shula didn't do it. All right. But at least it was only 3 losses, and then they lost. They won the fourth game. So it says Barkov, Bennett, Lundell, mouthwash. I'm good with that. But then you got to fill out left wing somewhere too. Vincent says scoring was an issue last year, a year before. Ekblad is an issue all the time. Defense is worse. Forward lines are not figured out. GM and the coach became fat and happy waiting for a big move. And he says also Mac McClung is going back to the slam dunk contest. Oh, the NBA All-Star weekend is this weekend? Chopper says Greer, Bennett, Kachuk will leave so many bodies on the ice, yet Maurice does not realize that. That's an interesting line combination. But if Kachuk doesn't start scoring, is that the fourth line? Chopper, if is that the fourth line? You know? You said Greer can't do what Cousins did. It's tough. Greer can do what Lomberg did a little bit. It's just not the same. We lost a lot. You know what I mean? I mean, we did lose a lot. Chris, you think the Devils are going to win the Stanley Cup? That's a maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they're ready yet. MJ says for the car hitting fans, people are okay, but they're looking for the driver. Yikes, that's never good. Vincent says Freeman said Panthers were interested in Taylor Hall. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad that we didn't pull the trigger on that. I mean, not that he's bad, but we can't be that desperate, right? Meadow says if Chucky didn't make the $9 million, he didn't have that nameplate, he'd be on the fourth line on a lot of competitive teams. He's how can I put this? He needs to play better. He needs to play better, right? You know, all we can do with Chucky is see what happens in the playoffs. You know, that's really all we can do. I don't want to sit here and obviously give up on him. He's not like he's playing terrible. It's just we're just so used to some of these guys playing so physical, and when they're not, it's hard to it's hard to watch sometimes. Nearmax says Vegas is going to win the cup. They look pretty good, right? I know he says, imagine in a few years Josh Allen goes to another team and wins the Super Bowl in his first year like Stafford. That could happen. That could happen. Ottawa playing in Quebec City is wild, starting with 2 preseason games, and we'll go from there, but the team will not relocate. Yeah, it's like Quebec just is like permanently getting teased, right? The other thing with the rumors about the I've said this before. When you hear all these rumors about the Panthers were interested in this guy, that guy, this guy, when back in the day when Stephen Ross was just going crazy with free agents, the agents would put out all sorts of rumors about who the team was interested in. And I know this isn't free agency, so it's a little bit different, but that just doesn't even sound. Vincent says, at least it shows their frame of thought, though we need a forward even before defense. I agree there, Vincent. I agree there. But Taylor Hall is kind of, I don't want to say it's the bottom of the barrel, but does anybody think adding Taylor Hall to this lineup means, okay, now we win the cup? You know what I mean? I need a Nordiques hat. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Chopper says, Jaws, we lost yesterday's game because nobody did to Colasar what Lomberg did. If Greer had beaten the brakes out of Colasar, Chucky would have become a monster. Good point. Hey, MJ. Hey, MJ. Thank you, brother. Thank you, bud. Let's see. I always enjoy the world headlines because I don't know nothing until MJ comes and tells me. And that's the truth. World headlines. Colombia is accepting deported U.S. immigrants. All right. Colombia is a nice place. Huh? Lady Gaga releasing new album in March. Vivek Ramaswamy running for governor of Ohio. No shit. Jennifer Lopez is in a new musical, and Anthony Rizzo and his wife are expecting a baby. Now, the Vivek Ramaswamy running for governor of Ohio. Are they having another election? Are they having some kind of special election? Or is he talking about next time? Or did somebody leave office and they're having a special election? And then Colombia is accepting the deported immigrants. Well, okay. I mean, they got to go somewhere, right? I mean, yeah, we could round people up and all of that, but they got to go somewhere, huh? I got nothing against Colombia. You guys in Miami know the Colombian women. All right, just watch yourself around the Colombian women, because Colombian women get pregnant. You just looking at them. Just looking at them, they get pregnant. I never went and Hey, Drew. Okay, thank you, MJ. The next Ohio election. Okay. That's interesting. Nearmax says there are teams that win in the regular season because they play harder than everyone else. Teams like the Jets, Bruins, maybe the Caps, they suck in the playoffs because everybody plays hard then. Yeah. You're kind of like when the Panthers won this, we won the President's Trophy, right? And that style of play just didn't carry through, did it? And he says there's been about at least 500 immigrants arrested and about to be deported. Are they just arresting like the criminals and whatnot? Meadow says, I wish Samuel would start scoring more for his confidence. Amen. Hallelujah. Yes, please. I'm getting worried that Maurice is going to move him back down. He gets it like somebody said, he gets a chance practically on every shift, If he could just put one, every 10 chances? What's the average? What is the average? And I'm not talking the shot percentage, but what do you think the average NHLer, how many goals per chances do you think they get? I guess there's got to be an advanced analytics stat for that somewhere, right? Like the number of chances a guy get and how many goals he gets. What do you think? 1 out of 10 times? Is that too much to ask? He's got to start putting it in. That's what she said. Andy says, I wouldn't survive 2 seconds to Colombia. Gotcha, MJ, right? True said, the JFK, RFK, and MLK documents. That should be interesting. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Yeah, the 15 chances, the percentage is very low, right? Yeah, unless you're Sam Reinhart, then it's like 50%. Unless you're Sam Reinhart, If you're Sam Ryan on a hot streak, it might be more like 75%. When that dude gets hot, it's on like it's crazy. Yeah, Vincent says, and you guys think the documents won't be doctored? Yeah, I know. Hey, look, Vincent, the way I look at that kind of stuff is it's not necessarily the documents are going to show what happened, but it might make for good entertainment what they want to tell us happened. Because nothing gets released in anything. If you see it on TV, they want you to see it, whatever it is, you know? Yeah, I wonder if Kennedy and MLK. I don't know. I wasn't there. Now, my dad will tell you that he knows everything that happened. But it doesn't matter what position you take. If you'd like to have a good argument, just pick a position with my father, and he will take the opposite. It won't matter. And the next day, he will have forgotten. And the next day, you can take his position, and he will argue the opposite position, which was yours the previous day. It's a gift. He has a gift. True says phone calls have been released already. Great White says Stamkos, it was about 4 out of 10. So that's pretty high, right? So if Sam Eskevich could do 1 out of 10, right? Just give me like 1 goal every 5 games. Hey, thank you, MJ. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, MJ. He says, question of the day, which world leader past or present would I have liked to meet? I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I would not have minded smoking a cigar with Castro. Shooting the shit and smoking a cigar with Castro. That had to be an experience. I'm just saying. David says, I've been there, Jaws. Father would say, that's a terrible call. I say, I agree. That's a bad call. And suddenly he turns into, well, when you look at it from that angle, yep. It's true, David. It's very true. I just roll with it. You know what I mean? You know it's coming. As long as you know it's coming, you just roll with it, right? MJ, because they had all the good cigars, man. I mean, the shit that people used to have to go through to get the Cuban cigars. Imagine what stash Castro had. You know? Yeah. I like to have a conversation with him. I didn't, you didn't ask which one I would envy. You asked which one I want to have a conversation with. Right? And if you make friends with him, now imagine making friends with Castro. And he's just like, you want me to give you some cigars to take back to sell? You see what I'm saying? You got to think business now, MJ. Now, if you're friends with Castro and you live in Miami, right? And he lets you have some cigars, I'm just saying, right? You become eBay before eBay was around. Metal. Yeah, you can go to Cuba, but you have to go through Mexico or Canada. Yeah. If it wasn't Castro, I don't know, man. Let me think. I'll think of a former U.S. president. Let me think about that for a second. The more recent ones are kind of boring. I wouldn't have minded having to sit down with one of the older guys. It'd be cool to sit down with George Washington, right? MJ Mandela for you. Mao. Right? David says, I forget if you've seen Seinfeld. He acted like that, like he did in a Seinfeld episode. He'd be pretty hilarious. No. Yeah, Stu would buy him. Yeah, true. Right? Oh, Darth Vader. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. Meadow says, if you could start an NHL franchise, where would it be and what would I call it? Boy, that's a good question. The NHL franchise. Well, you want it to be successful, right? So you want to be up north somewhere, somewhere where the economy is good. What about Maine? Is there enough people in Maine to start an NHL franchise? Drew says JFK or Andrew Jackson. Yeah, Andrew Jackson. Yeah. Fort Lauderdale Fluffies. Oh my God. Now that's funny. That's funny. Idaho Spuds. I like that medal. I like that. Rhode Island. Rhode Island would be a good spot, right? Maine is all country. Yeah, I know. I visited Maine years ago. 30, I guess it would be 30 years ago. Oh my God. When we visited Maine, we stayed at a little cabin place, and there was a lake system, right? And there was a dock off of the cabin, and I just stood out there all day long and caught bass 4 or 5 pounds. I mean, just all day long. I don't know if the place was stocked or whatnot, but it was like a lake, but it was like almost like a closed system where it like went off in multiple different directions and then met in the middle with a pool. But one of the fingers had a dock on it. I just stood out there all day long with my gold and silver Rapalas, and just bass after bass after bass. Mississippi morons. Nearmax says, I want all our guys to withdraw from the 4 nations to get some rest. They wouldn't be able to make any teams, right? Finland would have to forfeit if they withdrew. I don't think Finland would even have a team. I just hope everybody stays healthy. Delaware Crabbers. That's not bad. Trying to think. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple little places in Maine. There's not enough people. It would have to be like New England. It would have to be like a centrally located team for like 3 or 4 of those little states there. You want to go to Portland, Maine, and Augusta. I think that's where we went. MJ was outside of Augusta. I think that's where we went. I'm talking 1995, spring 1995. Yeah. Yep. It was, I tell you what, the woods were crazy. Manny says, Barkov is really having the worst stretch of his career. You think he's hurt? I hope not. He looks gassed, Amanda. He just don't look, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not starting any rumors, but Barkov has that look on his face. And I don't know if women can relate to this. I don't know. But guys, I know you can relate to this. Barkov has that look on his face, how you know when you're fighting with your girl and you're fighting bad, and you've got like about an hour left to work, and you know that you're almost done with work and you're not really enjoying work, but you got to go home, right? And you already got the big giant wall text of all the stuff that she wants to talk about when you get home, about all the shit you did bad. That's how Barkov looks. That exact look. That's how he looks. Every time the camera's on him, it's like, son of a bitch, I don't want to be here, but I need to be here. I don't want to go home either. So I don't know what's going on with him. I might prefer that explanation as to hurt. Lil J looks tired. Yeah, that's the exact energy, right? I'm tired of this shit. And I know he doesn't have a wife. But he's also the first guy that always gets sick. But yeah, he looks tired. There's no doubt. No, he doesn't have a wife and kids. I think he's got a kid with a woman. I think he's got a baby mama. Don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure. I've only heard people say it in the chat, so I don't know. Nick says Maurice plays him too much. He needs more rest in between shifts, especially when we're down in the third and we pull the goalie. They do have some long shifts, don't they? You know, I think that's accurate, MJ. Somebody in the chat can confirm that. Somebody in the chat can confirm that. You know me, people joke me and I don't know that it's not true, and then I go around saying shit. So I've learned to clarify my statements. Oh man. Yeah, no, but I agree with you, man. He looks off a little bit. Lil J seems like Barkey keeps his family life really separate from the fans, unlike Swaggy. Yeah, Amanda, agree. He's getting taken off the puck quite easily. I agree with that. He does have a young son. Okay, thank you, David. Metal says, I think Maurice has way too much trust in the guys that aren't scoring. Just look at power play, too. I thought about that. You know, I was yelling about that, Metal, the other day, and then I did the math, and I started realizing, well, who else are we going to put out there? You know? Lil says, I'm just calling out Swaggy because he's always posting with Katie's sister. I don't do Instagram all that much, so I've never seen the pictures. But I guess people say Katie's sister is hotter than Katie. Hey, Spaceman, I appreciate that. It was a rough day, man. All 3 games. Poor Kyle. And then the way the Bills lost, it was just like, it made for a good rant, though. If any of you are interested in about a 10-minute rant, if you watched yesterday's stream, find the spot where, maybe I'll just put this out, but find the spot where it's pretty much right after the Bills lost and the Panthers were on intermission. And I sat in Kyle's spot, and I don't remember what I said, but the exhaustion of the night got to me, and I think I bitched about everything under the sun. MJ, the Bills, I mean, it's bad. It's so bad I feel bad for Bills fans. That's how bad it is. 4 Super Bowls, 4 losses to the Chiefs. No fan base deserves that. I'm sorry, I don't care who it is. Not even Jets fans deserve that. True says Bitcoin is down right now. Keep your eye on it. All right, True. I'll keep today or tomorrow. I'm going to download that app. I just haven't had time to do it. No, I don't know if cursed is the right word. It's just rough. It's just rough. You know, like I said earlier, at least Marino finally beat the Bills in his 4th try. We didn't do nothing with it. We lost in the playoffs anyway. But at least Marino finally beat the Bills in his 4th try. Spaceman said, I'd love to see teams like New England, Baltimore, Miami have chances. Anybody, right? Anybody. Here it says, I didn't get to see it. How was the reffing? I did see a couple of blatant bad calls from the videos. But one of my thoughts overall, seeing a few clips doesn't give you a full story. The Bills didn't lose because of the calls. There was one call that the first down call. Buffalo had the ball. They had a 22-21 lead. It was 4th and like a foot. And when you watch the overhead angle, it sure as hell looks like he got the first down. It really, really does. I don't know how they placed the ball where they did. Even if he didn't get the first down, he was an inch away. And they didn't even come out in measurement. Where they placed the ball was nowhere near where he got to. And so Kansas City took the ball back, went down, and got a touchdown. So they didn't, I don't think they lost the game because of that. But there were some calls, but every game has those calls. Buffalo had the ball with 3.5 minutes left and 3 timeouts, and all they needed is a field goal. And the refs had nothing to do with it, and Buffalo just screwed it up. So, you know. And he says, wait a minute. I read the other day that the Dolphins had beaten the Bills for like 12 straight years. Dolphins dominant. Yeah, I think it was not just the Bills in the 70s. MJ, I think the Dolphins were perfect against the Patriots in the 70s as well. There was a big talent disparity in the 70s. Yeah, good. Yeah, Spaceman. At least we would beat Brady and the Pats back when Tannehill was quarterback. Right. Yeah, kind of like how the Panthers have dominated the Bruins so far, right? It might have only been the Bills, MJ. I kind of remember it being the Patriots too. Let me see. Let's see. See if my memory is still halfway decent. Miami Dolphins record versus the New England Patriots in the 1970s. Let's see. I'm not getting a real good. No, must not have been the 70s. Must not have been the 70s. So maybe it was only the Bills. It might have only been the Bills then. Who's the Chiefs fan? Oh, SoFlo. All right. Well, I can't kick you out. Oh. We're all Eagles fans next week. All right, True's got a theory. True's got a theory there. Chiefs coach is a Freemason. I hadn't heard that one. I'm not saying you're wrong though. Julian says you're from Lauderdale, currently living in Orlando, trying to move to the beach. Like, yeah, Melbourne. Melbourne is nice. I see, SoFlo. You're not a Chiefs fan, but you're a D1 Bills hater. Man, it's tough. It's tough. Well, then let's root for the Eagles. Gotcha, SoFlo. I see. I know. I get it as a Dolphin fan. It's tough. I look at it from the fans' perspective. And I feel bad for Bills fans, man. They're just fans just like us. They can't help where they were born, And damn, man, 4 Super Bowls and then 4 times to the Chiefs. It's like, that's kind of rough, That's rough. That's rough. Julian says, how do you think I feel, Jaws? The only Florida team I like the only non-Florida has to be the Broncos, right? Hey, MJ, thank you, buddy. All right, we got one more. Thank you, MJ. Whose career would I rather have? Belichick, Saban, Reed, Shula, or someone else? Let's see. Let me think about that. Ditka's career wasn't bad because he got to win and then he got to be on TV all that time, right? Ditka was on TV, right? Am I remembering that correctly? Am I thinking the right guy? Belichick, he's too crabby. Saban, no. I don't even like him enough to. I don't like him enough to be him. Andy Reid, Shula. I don't know about Shula, man, because yeah, he had the success, perfect season and all of that, but then he had to go at it for another 25 years of not ever winning again. Was it Ditka that was on TV? I keep wanting to think that Ditka did do TV for a while. Soflo says, I actually live in Fort Lauderdale. I've seen firsthand how many damn New Yorkers move down here and take over our cities and bars from the Bills in town. So I hate the Bills a little more than I probably you do. All right, I understand that. You see, Soflo, I grew up when going to the Orange Bowl, right? So a lot of the angst that I had towards Bills fans, Jets fans especially, you got to watch everybody. People would fight in the stands in the fourth quarter because everybody get drunk and then fight in the stands. And so you kind of formed a different bond with the people then. You know what I mean? You know, when you got a Dolphins fan and a Bills fan fighting, and then you got another Dolphins fan and another Bills fan trying to break it up, you know, and because nobody's filming. You see what I mean? Back then, nobody was filming it. So we all got involved and tried to break it up. And then usually the Bills fan's girlfriend would just take her top off to distract everybody. This is true stuff, by the way. I'm not making it up. That if you're old enough to have gone to games in the Orange Bowl, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody get drunk. The guys would fight. And somehow in the middle of the fight, a woman's shirt would end up off. It was expected. It was totally like, oh, the only question was which section was it going to happen in? And was it going to be more than two? It was a completely different world, a completely different planet. Yeah, there you go. David says it was a better time. It's totally true, man. Crazy. You know? No, MJ, that's from, you're talking, you know, late 70s to early 80s before they stopped going, you know, we left the Orange Bowl like 85, 86, whatever it was. Life back before social media, yeah. SoFlo, that is exactly what would happen. Like literally, they'd be fighting and the woman would be like, I mean, that's literally why they would do it. It's literally why they would do it. And it would work too. It worked. You know, because usually it was usually the girlfriend of the guy who was getting his ass kicked. And so she would lift her shirt up or take her shirt off and like start trying to drag him off. And like everybody would just be like so stunned that she had her shirt off, the fight would stop. The fight would, I mean, I wish I was making it up, man, but it's true. Oh, geez. All right. So, yeah. All right. What is it? We're close to 1:30. All right. All right, everybody. I gotta go do my eBay pack and ship. We had a good weekend, so that is good. This is fun. I enjoy these. Thank you for all the super chats. Genuinely, much appreciated. Last question. Great White says, who do I think will have more rings before he retires, Mahomes or Brady? Brady. I don't think Mahomes is going to get 7. I don't think Mahomes is going to get, 7 is a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah, thank you, MJ. Appreciate you, brother. Genuinely. All right. Woo! No games till Wednesday. Oh, within like 15, 20 minutes, the members podcast will be up. Members podcast will be up. So I record it before this show, and then I'll upload it after the noon stream. So, and that'll be every day. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your night off. Everybody enjoy your night off.